Hey guys, how's it going? Kripp here. Today we're going to talk about a pretty important subject that isn't Hearthstone. It's movies. Now, being the master of the internet that I am, I have a pretty good idea of how to effectively spend my time watching something. I don't really watch many TV shows. Do watch some, I mostly watch a lot of movies. And movies, in my opinion, are worth seeing, a lot of fun. But you don't want to be wasting your time. You gotta be efficient with your time. You gotta get the most out of it. You gotta min-max that stuff. And through my experience, through the time of watching all thousands of movies that I've seen, I've developed a system that's based on a website on the internet which allows me to screen movies, and it sometimes fails, but just about every time it's on point, it's accurate, and it's the best. So here it is. I'll tell you guys what movies you should be seeing. So the website I'm going to talk about is IMDb.com. It's the Internet Movie Database, and most of them are pretty harsh on most movies, and as a result, most really good movies are very well rated. They have a top 250 of all time, and pretty much if you haven't seen all the movies on the top 250 of all time, you should start, banging them, knocking them off the list and seeing them, and you're probably going to enjoy yourself quite a bit doing so. So that's where you start. Now, when it comes to if your friend recommends a movie, or if you stumble upon a movie, or if something's released, or something along those lines, there is a watchable rating scale that you guys can apply to these type of movies that I have talked about in the past, but it's very important for you to avoid wasting your time watching some garbage. So the rating system is as follows. If it's 8.5 or higher, you see the movie in a theater in like IMAX, 3D, whatever, all that stuff, and I'll explain that at the end of the video, how to min-max that, okay? If it's over 8 or 8.0 qualifies, you watch it, regardless of what it is. It's going to be a badass movie. If it's over 7.0, and on IMDb, 7.0 or higher is actually a very good rating. People are very harsh on movies. If it's over 7.0, you can watch it if you think it's kind of cool, except for movies that are labeled romance. So on IMDb, you can see what type of genres the movies involve, and if the first or the second one say romance, do not watch that movie unless it's 8 or higher. If it's 7 or 7 to 8, it will not qualify, because there's like 10, 12-year-old girls who watch bullshit like this and give it like a 10 out of 10 when in fact it's a garbage dumpster movie you don't want to waste your time seeing. So that's why, and in general, come on, that's why you don't watch that stuff. The other movies you can see if they're below 7, but they have to meet an exception criteria, and the exception criteria is as follows. If a movie is labeled science fiction, sci-fi, or it's like a superhero movie, like Daredevil probably falls below, but if it's like Daredevil or something like that, which is not a great Marvel movie in most people's mind, it can qualify. Generally, 6 or higher is the limit you want to put on this stuff, because don't get me wrong, there are some pretty shit Marvel movies out there. There are some terrible sci-fi movies out there. So there is a limit, and the floor is roughly 6. So if it's 6 to 6.9, you can watch it if and only if it's a sci-fi movie or if it's like a superhero movie. And again, you can after you go down through the top 250, you can start finding movies by looking at like top lists. So let's say you like a superhero movie, you Google like top superhero movies of all time or something like that. That's kind of how you get introduced to cool movies, shit you want to be seeing. And it's a pretty good system. And as I talked about, 8.5 or higher, you want to see an IMAX. You want to min-max that stuff as well. And I'll give you guys an example. Earlier in the week, we saw Guardians of the Galaxy, which at the time was an 8.7, which meets the IMAX criteria. And again, what we did is we min-maxed it. We were in Toronto. We Googled the biggest IMAX screen available, and it happened to be the one at Scotiabank downtown. And then I Googled the best seats in the Scotiabank theater, and they happened to be like F19, F20, something like that. So one day ahead of the screening, we booked online, reserving those exact seats for this movie. And wouldn't you know it, it was really kick-ass. So that's how every movie viewing experience should be. And I hope I've led you guys to that direction pretty well. So, hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.